Hey, remember how I told you I hated tea? I found a tea that I can't stop drinking.
Oh, no way. What is it?
It's like some white girl herbal blend from like Trader Joe's, like from the fall section with it's like apple, cinnamon, ginger. Like it basically tastes like unsweetened cider.
I love apple ginger. Or
Yeah,
sorry, apple cinnamon. But apple cinnamon ginger would be freaking fire.
It's been the best discovery ever. Like, I don't know, I gotta find like a seasonal or an all-around option because like historically I've hated tea so much and this one is just so above everything I've ever had. But
This is the first year that I've ever had a pumpkin spice latte. Like, I've just never tried it before.
for real?
Yeah, for real. And
Whoa.
holy shit.
They're so good.
It's so good.
It's so good. I know. I gave in on that one before you did, but same thing. I held out reasonably long, like till adulthood, and then I was like, oh, these are the best thing ever.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Maybe it's just like it's like Starbucks kind of like boycott in general. And then I was just like,
Oh yeah,
let me see what it's all about. And I'm just like, okay, who has this flavor? Who's making
Yeah.
cinnamon nutmeg? You know, like,
and like everyone is. They just
Yeah.
call it either the same thing or different, and it's delicious.
yeah. Like I
Yeah.
want that just like injected into me every day now.
It's yeah. You're like, I get the hype now. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like a warm hug.
it is. It really is. But yeah, as a tea hater, this tea has turned me around, at least for this one. But
Dude, make a YouTube short about it. I challenge you.
I probably will. Do you want to hear? Okay, so like hating tea is like a notoriously like why is Jake this way thing. The other thing that I'm probably going to make a short about that is like uber controversial is I've gone my entire life not watching the extended edition of The Lord of the Rings. Like
But
we had
like, aren't you a huge Lord of the Rings fan?
Yes. So like growing up, my mom and dad bought like the DVD set and I watched it in a stupid amount of times. And it was the theatrical version. And I just like, growing up before the internet was everywhere, didn't know that these things existed. And then by the time I found out, I was like, well, I've watched these movies a bajillion times. I don't need to watch them as an adult, And then finally this week, it's been a few weeks because they're like each 4 fucking hours long.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
they're
you're
insane.
locked in.
Like you're locked in. So it's taking me like days to get through all of this stuff. And my hot take is, yes, I appreciate that they exist. The nerd in me. They're not better movies by any stretch of the imagination.
Fair. It's like a director's cut.
Yeah. It's like, it's cool that it exists, but like, wow, there was some stuff that I was like, didn't need to see that. And there was some stuff I was like, this just feels like we're slogging through this. But
Yeah, I find that's like, there's a few movies that I've just been like, yeah, I really want to watch the director's cut. And then at the end, I'm just like, it just felt slower.
yeah. And the music too felt like it just did not flow nearly as well, which makes total sense, right? Like the theatrical cut is going to have really tight music and then they're probably, I wonder how that even works. They're probably just playing more of, that would be really interesting to know the process there. Like, do they rescore it? I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Because it can't just be an editor just being like, well, I have the stems, so I'm just going to...
Adobe Premiere extend the Writers of Rohirrim theme or whatever.
Did you see any of the Adobe Max stuff?
No, dude, no.
You're not an Adobe user, but like
I'm
Adobe
not an
Max
Adobe
this year
user.
was crazy.
Are they? It seems like, I haven't seen anything physical, but the vibe I get from the internet is they're swinging hard.
Like here's my 2 cents, which isn't really 2 cents, but like I think Adobe's had a lot of backlash and they're like just kind of heavily going into like, we'll make your life easier. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I hear what you're saying, and you're making things less clicks. But are you making the program have less bugs? Like, are you actually working on the program, or are you just injecting AI into it?
Yeah. It's like, oh, wow, it'll cut up my whole video for me, but it'll crash 32 times before it's done.
Yeah, I'm like, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
But there's some cool
I feel
stuff.
like generally when I talk to people nowadays, they're like, oh, if you're on Apple Silicon, it's actually pretty stable. Has that been your experience?
I still do edit in Premiere, and it honestly is pretty stable. Like,
Okay.
I don't really have any like crashing complaints with Premiere anymore. It's just mostly like UI stuff. Like when I go back, and it's hilarious because like when I started cutting Resolve, I was just like, this feels weird. But
yeah,
now when I go back to Premiere, I'm just like, this feels like driving like a 1995 Honda Civic. Like. Yeah. Like I know it's gonna get me there, but at the same time, I'm just like, why? Like, why can't I just get this viewer out of the way? What's going on here? Like, why do I have to do so many clicks?
Right. That's interesting.
But the new big things from, or I guess the biggest thing for video world, there was some cool stuff like in Illustrator and whatnot that you can like reformat from. Like if you made a poster that was like 4x5, and you're like, damn, I need it 9x16 and like horizontal. Like you could just click and it spits all the graphics out for you, which is cool.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
But the AI extend. So if you like filmed a clip of somebody walking and like you need 7 extra frames or whatever, you can just be like, boop, drag it out. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's really cool. But like, have we got better motion graphic integration? Or like,
right.
I don't know.
They're doing the very like corporate thing, which aligns with everything they've done in the last like decade, which is like, ooh, AI is hot. Let's double down on all the buzzword stuff. And
totally.
Which is damn cool. Like when you explain that to me, I'm like, man, that's really cool. And like if it works well, there is a lot of times where it's like, man, those 7 frames can really save you a lot of headache if it looks good.
Totally. Like the amount of times that I like slow down a clip and I'm just like, that looks stupid. Maybe optical flow will fix it. That still looks weird. Like,
right.
That happens like, once a project.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Which again, like creativity, you get around it. It always works itself out, but it's like, it's cool tools. And I think that's the thing is like, personally, I'm not like a big Premiere guy like you. So like my stance has always just been like, it's so expensive and I don't think you need to use it, right? Depending on what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And so like, I'm sure if I use Premiere, maybe I'm not sure of this, but like, as far as I've heard, like it seems like it's running pretty good. It seems like it works for most things and has some cool features and it's getting more cool features. But again, it's just like, I don't know. The principle of the price is always the hill I've died on. And
right.
So like, I don't like, and that's the thing. I think some people are like, Jake hates on Premiere. And it's like, no, like that stuff all sounds cool. And sometimes I look at it and go like, I should try, but I don't know.
They're literally all the same. I'm sure you see, Threads is so funny because you can like see like all your friends like commenting on stuff. And I kind of like that. Yeah. But I get sucked into so many like NLE battles of just like, which thing is better? And it's just like, they all do the freaking same thing. To me, what it really comes down to is kind of exactly what you're saying. Like Premiere and like the Adobe suite has a really good base that because they've been around so long, other people have like built upon. So you have like Red Giant, who's built like huge programs to work with. So many native transitions that like you can buy. Like the extensions for Premiere is what makes Premiere, in my opinion, like the like speedier software, the things to like all the stuff that goes into Adobe that are able to like plug in essentially. Like I think no program can match that. Like Final Cut has plugins, but not nearly the amount. And same thing with DaVinci. Like there's not nearly the amount of like options to be like, just to have like I can't even think of an example because there's literally just so many. Like
oh, totally. No, which, God, you segued us beautifully because we wanted to talk about plugins tonight. And like, yeah, Resolve plugins are just like, I mean, and I'm sure Premiere is this way too, but like, there's just not a lot of options. And it is such a crapshoot on like what you're going to get and like if you like it and how it fits with your workflow. Cause yeah, and I was telling you like this week, I finally pulled the trigger on buying like Finzar's plugins, which like everything he does totally is a huge inspiration to me with all of my dorky, crappy stuff. And I was like, I should try it. It'd be fun to see like, how does this work in?
Nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose. Like they're not, support a guy I love. If I hate him, who cares? Which again, preface that like, I love this dude. His videos are some of my favorite to watch, like blah, 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 blah. Like I'm about to flame this guy because I do not like his plugins, but like he's awesome. And again, like the plugin thing, it's kind of a weird thing to be mad at because they're really good and they do what they're supposed to do. And I just don't like the way that they're implemented. And I'm still trying to process if it's a Resolve issue, a Fusion issue, maybe just a me problem. I don't know. But like, and we kind of talked about it because a lot of his stuff is the motion animation type things. And there's just no visual representation when I throw it on something to kind of know what I'm expecting in time in the timeline. Whereas with your stuff being transitions, I can visually see where stuff is moving, where stuff is ending, and what's happening. With these, you throw it on there and it's all these transform keyframes that you can't see anywhere visually. And they go from the beginning of the clip, but like you can't, there's no indicator, right? So it's like, I don't know when this little wobble finishes and I have to figure it out with my edit. And personally, I kind of hate that. Whereas with your stuff, it's like, oh yeah, like transition in, transition out. My next one, I can put the transition, kind of lined up this much overlap with the other one. And it's just visually so much better, in my opinion.
For somebody who's like listening on the off chance, and this is like, what the fuck is happening? Like, we're just talking about like kind of drag and drop like effects inside Resolve that like will bring in specifically like text, logos, PNGs. Not like, we're not talking about footage right now. That will like make something like pop on screen or something like that, or like slide on screen and like have a little animation. So it seems like your problem is just like, yeah, sure, the animation itself is great, but like visually I can't see where it starts, where it stops, like how to like better have in and outs for like what you're actually doing. And is it like time adjustable? Like if you had your PNG logo and you like drag it all the way out, will like the out animation go to the end of the clip?
I think you might be able to do that, but in my experience, not intuitively. I need to go read the instructions again because there wasn't an intuitive way to do that, which was another frustrating piece where it felt like, because again, when I look at it in the inspector, I can see the keyframes and I can see the numbers moving like they've been animated. And I'm sitting there going like, I don't think I can retime this because I think it's kind of hard put in there. I don't know.
Maybe in Fusion you could, but
right.
But probably this is exactly like the thing I want to like avoid when I'm like downloading a thing.
Yeah,
like
I want to use a plugin to not do Fusion.
Yeah, and like if somebody is in the off chance like doesn't think I'm right about this thing, even though it's like common knowledge, like just go on a website called aescripts.com. And you'll see just the vast amount of things for Premiere and After Effects. Yeah. There's not really a hub that we have for like DaVinci, I would say, other than like Motion VFX, which is also a hub for Premiere and Final Cut. Like, there's not one that's like specifically focused. One thing that I really love is it's called Film Impact. And I take a lot of like, it's like a subscription base, which like it made sense because they were always updating it and like making new transitions and working out bugs and whatever. But like their stance was native transitions that didn't exist in Premiere. So it was a need already. and kind of exactly the thing that like you would love it if you had access to it. Like I use it in everything. It became my motion graphic inside Premiere. Like I took a lot of the work out from me, and like whenever I'm trying to create stuff, I kind of like revert back to be like, how would I like redo this from scratch if I had to do this in Resolve, because like they're really basic movements. But it's just like they're so clean. And like having a visual like line, like a visual cue for stuff, it's just so helpful.
Yeah.
And I think the thing for this is like it needs to be done with a transition.
I think so. Well, and the other thing that I was running into is that once you put it on, so I'm putting them on a PNG. If I then drug out the start, it didn't change the starting point. So that was a bummer, and I don't know if I'm doing something wrong there. So the animation didn't move to the start of the clip, which I know you can definitely configure that because that's how Magic Animate works. Like that exists with anim curves or whatever they're called. I've heard about these things. I don't know how they work. So that was kind of a bummer. Again, I'm not sure if this is user error. And again, I probably need to spend more time, but it was not intuitive to move the start of the clip and have it move. It was not intuitive to retime stuff. And visually, there was, like you said, the transitions or at least like cuts was not there to like be 100% a guarantee of what I was expecting. But, and I don't know, right? Like, and I mean, I think we've kind of talked about this, and I've always like poked your brain a ton, which is just like, is it just that the community isn't developed? Is it, from what we understand, the way the software works? Like, why? Because like Final Cut versus Premiere is a great example, right? Like, as far as I can tell, most of the plugins for Final Cut are either made in Motion, which has a lot of limitations, but is pretty powerful, or they're like completely coded from the ground up. And I don't think that that's like I guess I'm just not sure if you can do that in Resolve or what that looks like, or if just people haven't done it, you know, like what can you duct tape to this thing at the code level, right? Like which Premiere and After Effects seems to have just like this crazy ceiling of possibilities, and people have done that. I don't know. Like, and I don't know if you can answer that question or what your thoughts are, but I'm just like, is it fundamentally a Resolve problem or is it a community problem?
I think it's a infancy problem, honestly. Like when you really look at like how long the edit page has been around for, like, it's just not that long, you know. I'm sure like all the OG dudes on YouTube are like, no, we've been cutting it in Resolve forever. But like, in my experience, or like my understanding at least, which still might be limited, like you can have extensions, which is like things, I don't know if you know what like Premiere Composer is, or like Motion Bro or stuff like that, like that it's like kind of like a separate window that pops up. Like Resolve can run extensions. It has the ability to do that inside Fusion. I would assume maybe it could run that in the edit page, possibly not. But the effects within the effects tab, to me, is endless, because you can just do everything in Fusion, and anything you can do in Fusion can be used in the edit page. So to that thinking, I'm like, and especially with the ability to like make your own native transitions, I'm like, there should be a lot more, in my opinion. So it's like, one, to me, it's like an infancy thing, and two, I do feel like it's a community issue of just like, there's just not that many people on that side of like the I want to code stuff. And there's a huge, because like, to be fair, like Resolve has so much stuff built into it, it doesn't really need that much more. Like it has a lot of cool tools, it has a lot of cool bells and whistles. It's just like little things that I wish they would add.
Yeah, totally. And that, I think, is the other crux of it, is like, when you were asking me, I was just like, I don't even know. exactly what I want because in theory I have everything I want, but I still feel like it could be better, right? And I spent a lot of time thinking about that, like how could this plugin be better? How could this come from Fusion in a way that I like? And some of it is just like, yeah, it's like I don't know. I've got a lot of tools, and what's the catch there? I'm not 100% sure, but
in 5 years we'll have a completely different like environment. It'll be sick.
Oh yeah. No, it'll be crazy.
The most recent thing that is pissing me off, which is so stupid, but like the glow tool.
What about it is
it's just
pissing you
pissing
off?
me off. Like I'm just like, if you tonight when you're editing, type some text or try to put it on a logo.
Okay.
Black screen.
Oh yeah, I've been getting that a lot more. I'm trying to think of what other effects I've hit that with where black screen is really pissing me off lately.
Like it's just clear that it's just like, oh, this isn't meant to be used like on a text layer. Okay, it's meant to be used on footage. And like, I think those are like a nuance that's just like, but why? Like, why does that?
Yeah.
Because like in a world where it's just like it's media one input glow.
Yeah.
Like who cares what the media one is? Like why does it have to be footage?
Yeah. Yeah. No, and that is frustrating. That is actually a great example because that is one thing that I feel like maybe could sum this up well. Like when you put an effect, whether it's a plugin or something someone made in Motion, like in Final Cut Pro, like you can put that effect on literally anything. And like, sure, on text it might look like a turd or who knows, like, but like I've never hit something where it's like, oh, this wasn't designed for that. Like fundamentally the software is like, you can throw this on anything in the timeline and we don't care. And Resolve, there's a lot of that where it's like, this really wasn't meant for this. And like, I don't know if someone's like not thinking through all of the edge cases or what, it's like, there's kind of like this like tribal knowledge, of like,
it's like,
oh, I shouldn't do that.
To know. And even when I'm dragging on the glow, I'm just like, there probably is a button that I can hit that's just like alpha output only or something, but I'm like, I want it to work. I just want it to work. Like,
yeah. You should be able to throw it on a text, and who cares? Like, have the text look weird or whatever. Like,
expect a new glow effect in like 2 months by me.
Beautiful. Okay, good. Because then I can glow up my text to infinity.
But yeah. I actually like. You know what's actually been helpful is like, I think you might have said that, this like taking like your just voice and like speaking and like making that the script. Like that's kind of how I originally like, I like said something. I was like in my kitchen and I was getting pissed off about it because I'm just like, I just want my glow or whatever to like be like it is in After Effects. And then I was just like, well, that's the beginning of the script. I might as well just rant and try to record like.
Totally. Dude, I love that because... So yeah, what Spencer's talking about is if given the opportunity, I love to talk, like do voice to text for my scripting, which I can't do in the morning, which I've been doing a lot lately. But it's because then your spoken word gets written how you talk, which will feel more natural when you're filming it. Whereas when you write, at least for me, I write very differently than I talk. Like I'm slowly merging those through practice, but like writing Jake and talking Jake are two very different people.
Totally. It's like, yes, everything you learned in school is just out the window. I'm like trying to write concise. I did that on the moment thing that I was trying to film this weekend. And I'm just like, why did I like write this like so like eloquently? Like I have to say this to a camera. And I'm like, therefore.
Therefore. It's like, I never say that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like totally. That's the biggest hack of all time.
Yeah. No, I love that hack.
So what time what are you doing in the morning? Like you're like waking up 5 a.m. club, pouring your new tea into a cup and
Well, at 5 a.m. I'm pounding coffee because I'm just trying to like be coherent and get things going. But yeah, I'll get up, grab a cup, Yeah, it's been really good. Historically, I would get up, drink my coffee, eat something so that I'm not coffeeing on an empty belly, and then watch YouTube. Like I just watch TV basically, which is great. Like I love it, but I don't know. It's for some reason like writing first thing in the morning with that cup of coffee is way better. Like I'm, like I always start like really groggy, and then the coffee starts to hit, and I just start writing. Like the first like 3 or 4 bullet points on that day for those notes is usually just like, whoa, I'm tired, or like, I'm struggling or whatever. Like I just start typing to try and kind of get things moving. And then by, I don't know, bullet point 6 or 7, there's some ideas. And then sometimes it just turns into like me trying to write a full on script if I have time.
Oh, heck.
But
dude, it's like a limitless pill.
Kind of. Yeah. Because personally, and I know not everyone's this way, but like first thing in the morning with a cup of coffee, like my brain is like on crack, dude. Like it's out of control, because when I try to script at night, it does not go as well, which I didn't think that was the case. And then I tried this and I was like, whoa, I am really tired at night. And so I've been trying to film and edit at night. Although honestly, I've been trying to do more of my filming on the weekend when I have maybe a little more energy.
Nice.
But yeah, it's been great. And I mean, I know I've always been like, to you, I'm always like script. And this is like the next level where it's, I don't know. I think it's been going well, but.
Well, it's also like idea generation too, which I've been thinking a lot about recently.
Yeah.
Because like, one, how do you capture those? And two, like the more that you're writing, like, I just hate to admit it, but like, I just do really think that like writing is the GOAT. It's like, it's how you will actually be successful. Like you can have 1,000,001 ideas, but like, and honestly, my channel is a great example of it. Like some of my ideas I think are going to be really good. And I'm like, cool. I sit down, try to film it. I'm like, this video fucking sucked.
Yeah.
Because I just tried to like wing it. And it turned into like a mismatch of like, now I can't even plan. Like it removes the ability to like actually plan anything of like, okay, I'm going to film this section here, and then I'm going to go to a new location and film that. Like, I don't know. Like it's just very helpful in those ways. And I've slowly been seeing the light. That's what I'm saying.
I think it's cool. I mean, again, it's creatively, well, and I think I said that in that short, and I've said that to you before, where like, creatively, when you're kind of getting into all this stuff, it feels like you're just like adding bureaucracy and red tape by writing. You're like, I'm not filming, I'm not editing. Like, why am I not doing one of those things? But I don't know. I think it's awesome. I think the people, I would love to know, I'm sure he made videos about this, but like Casey just like making his vlogs, like there's no way he was scripting. Like that's like a level of insanity.
Fair.
Like that's what makes him the GOAT, probably, is the fact that he can do that without
probably
scripting
on the fly, like to be like, okay, this story point will match up at this story point. Like,
yeah. The ability to like keep that cohesive through multiple locations on the like, that's insane. Yeah, that's why he's bananas. Yeah. That's the reason. Whereas like us mortals got a script.
Yeah. And even like, I even realized like, this isn't my first time dealing with it, but when I was trying to film this moment thing, like, I was like, the script is almost like fucking me up a little bit in terms of like, use it as a guideline. Like, I think I excel more if I just like write a bullet point rather than a little blurb, because then my mind is like, okay, memorize and repeat. And I'm like, that's not the point of it. I just like, those are my ideas. I just need to like, so I think actually going forward, I won't write sentences because my brain just latched on to like, I keep missing like also or always, or like the words that don't really matter. Like it's just the idea that I have to get across. So that's also very important.
For sure. Because what that still gets you and I run into this all the time when I do exactly what you said, where I'm like, oh, I've got an idea. Let me just sit down and wing it. There's so many times where then I go to edit it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I misremembered where I left off with certain points.
Totally.
And so I'll like have this one thought that's like really well thought out, but then I mess it up at the end and then I'm like, oh shit, like where do I go back to? And it doesn't match out, that I'm like Frankensteining trying to like make it work in the edit. And I'm just like, if I just had a bullet point list, I could have just been like, okay, that was that point. I'll just start over from right there. And like, you wouldn't miss stuff.
Totally. Yeah. Or even just like, having bullet points to hit, because like sometimes I'll sit down and film a video and I'm just like, I didn't even say the thing that I was most excited about. Like,
yeah, whoops, I missed the most important part because I just went off the rails. Yeah, I've done that.
And something about me is I'll just not refilm it.
Oh,
that's just the way it is.
Yeah, like when you do that, you're like, man, I really don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
Especially, and I did that recently. I was like, okay, wing it. Then I tried to script it a little bit more, shot it again, still hated it. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is why you don't refilm, because the second time still pissed me off.
Yeah, totally. But you've been doing like a good job at like all this stuff recently. Like, I think you're focusing on like shorts right now. Like that's kind of the go-to.
Yeah, so like historically I've always loved making vertical content. I don't love consuming it too much, which is weird. Like I get pretty bored of it fast. Yeah. I'm one of the weird people that like can't sit on TikTok for 3 hours.
I think that's normal. I think it's also our niche a little bit as well, but like the 3 minutes thing, when they were like, okay, we're 3 minutes now. I'm like, no, we're not sitting here for 3 minutes. I'm not going to watch a full camera review.
Yeah. And I'm not going to make it 3 minutes. I'm going to make 1 minute shorts till I die. Yeah.
Did you hear the Corridor Crew like 10 million plan thing?
What's that?
They haven't made shorts at all. So they're like going to make a short every single day to try to hit 10 million on their like main Corridor channel.
That's cool.
Then so they're like, we're going to see if like going over 3 minutes or going to the 3 minutes actually like matters or something, because like they have such a big studio that they're just like, okay, everybody make 2 shorts. Oh, well, look at that. That's 30 days.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, they can do that easily. Well, and that's why I'm doing it right now, because for me, making a 60-second video is just like so easy to get my arms around. Right.
Yeah.
And
the payoff is huge.
Well, I don't know. It hasn't been like astronomical in the current. We'll see. I mean, again, and that's not 100% why we're doing it. We'll see how that pans out. Like that'd be cool if the payoff was huge, but it hasn't like slammed. I've had one vertical go like crazy, and that was pretty nuts, but that was like a couple rounds ago. And so I don't know, maybe we'll hit another one in this wave, but yeah. No, I just like it, and I think most people know this, like just like my day job is just like absolutely getting bananas crazy, and like it was pretty busy, like, and now it's just like absurd. And so like the reason I'm just making shorts is like just to have like an outlet for, you know, getting up, being healthy, writing those scripts. That's been really good, I think, for my brain. And then
flex that
like
muscle.
Some small little chunk of creative dopamine to like film and edit at night, and then like post and, you know, get a few thumbs up from some people and rinse and repeat. Like it's just like it sounds super unhealthy, but like it's actually probably the best version of what I can do right now. And I'm kind of bummed because I've got, you know, we've talked about it. I've got a couple of pretty big ideas that I'd love to start working on, and I have not brought myself to like make it happen. And I don't know, due time, we'll see what happens. But yeah, long form is feeling really daunting right now.
It would be interesting. I'm just like spitballing as I do.
Spitball. Like, this is why we do this.
It'd be cool to see like I'm just trying to think of like keep it simple, stupid. The KISS method of like knowing the inside of like what your bigger projects are, or bigger ideas are of like, if there's way that you could like prep for it on like shorts to be like, today we're going to look at what the heck a polygon node does. And like,
yes,
that's it. That's the full 60 seconds. And like,
yeah,
there's 30 shorts right there of just like, what the heck is a background node? Or like, like, this is my favorite node, and like just whatever. And you're like exploring, but also teaching, like, to be like, here's my findings of like, I think you should know about this node, or like whatever is cool. And like, you're kind of like able to fool around in that world first, so that like it actually benefits you later.
For sure. No, and I think I've thought about that. In fact, I don't know if I've scripted anything for it, but being able to animate lines with the polygon tool, I sound like the biggest Fusion noob in the world. Like, I didn't know you could do that, where like you don't connect it and then you can like animate either the line as a mask or just a straight up background with a line.
Yeah.
Which I used in the Sticks video, but like,
dude, we should talk about the Sticks video too.
Oh, yeah, we could talk about the Sticks video.
What were you gonna say? That's crazy. Like just there's just
like all these things that like I'm like, wow, that's a great way to do a lot of cool motion graphic stuff. Like just a line that you can animate the start and the end, whether it's a mask or an element. Like that's how you do the highlighter thing, right? Like I didn't.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, yeah. Yeah.
But so no, I think that's a killer idea, and I want to do more of that. I'm still, I mean, not to like get back on the plugin thing, I'm still not like I just love and hate Fusion so much. I just think it is simultaneously so cool and so awful, and I'm wrestling with that every day.
The tools are definitely intuitive. It's just like, it's funny because I was just bagging on Adobe earlier for this, but like in After Effects, it's just like, it's half the clicks to add a trim path. That's what that's called. And if I'm like, oh, I want to make a stroke, like animate on, like it just takes less effort, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not that you like can't do it. And like, I don't know, I'll be mad until I see it. And I feel like, or I'm just going to be mad until I do the idea of just like, I want somebody to make good motion graphics in Fusion. Like,
which, I mean, we've talked about doing. It's just, and there's been a couple, again, like the whole, like your friends on Threads show up stuff. Like, again, you and I's stuff, like your stuff pops up all the time for me, and I'll see you like talking to people about like Fusion and stuff. And like, they'll be like, oh yeah, like I know Fusion. And I'll go look at their stuff and I'm like, okay, like you know exactly what I think I know. And like, yeah, there's some cool stuff here. And like for a certain aesthetic, that's really cool. But then like, I mean, it's just, it feels so rudimentary. Like it just feels like Fusion could do so many things, and no one that I know or follow or have seen is like taking it to balls to the wall After Effects levels.
Actually, I think it was Patrick that made the MKHB like the studio like intro.
Oh, did he? That would be cool to see. Someone, I think you're right. Someone did that.
I'll send that too. But like, I'm like, like we need to focus on that and like get the community hyped about that stuff, because I think that will expand like Fusion a lot more. The downside of that is like, like, I'm sure it took the person who made that less time in After Effects than it did in Fusion. And that's kind of like my gripe with Fusion. It's like, sure, I can animate this thing on, but like to add a modifier, to add an anim curve, to do this thing, versus like I literally could do that in one click in After Effects.
See, and that's crazy, because I hear that and I just go like, that's what I dream of, because Fusion just feels like, yeah, and that's the point, right? Is like when you know how the sausage is made, like anything's possible. Like anything can be keyframed, anything can be moved.
Exactly.
Like, of course you can do anything, but like at what cost? At what cost? Like this is 2024. At what fucking cost? You know? Because I think that's half the battle, is I like get this idea and I'm like, wow, I could do that. And it's like, I could like hand animate this just as fast with like fucking paper and pencil, dude.
Dude, 100%.
Maybe faster.
100%. 100%.
If I got out Procreate and just made a new like onion skin slide with all the frames, I could probably draw something that looks just fine and is the same idea.
I like, fun fact is like I try to not use keyframes at all in Fusion. Like when I'm inside Fusion, I try to not use keyframes because that like it gets to what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's all anim curve stuff that you're doing, right?
I try my best to like use one of those things on that list because there's a bunch of stuff. When you right click, it's like anim curves, shake, like vector result. Like there's a bunch of stuff that you can just be like, okay, that, and then there's a world of expressions as well that like I was pretty heavily steeped in After Effects, and I hate that I spent so long learning them and they don't roll over into, it's like a different, I guess, I don't know what language off the top of my head Resolve uses, but
isn't it like Lua or something weird?
I think it's
not
Lua, yeah. After Effects uses like JavaScript. You can just like use JavaScript for scripting. So like,
Lua. I mean, I got my degree in CS. Lua just feels like a weird choice. Like JavaScript is used like everywhere, or I mean, like I don't know, like dude, Python or yeah. We don't need to go off on that tangent, but it's just crazy to me that that's like the expression language.
Everyone who had like an inkling of what we were talking about was just like, okay, what the fuck?
Yeah, they were like, dude, we can't even try to support you guys through this conversation. How did we even get? Oh, we were talking about someone making the studio intro.
Yeah.
Right? How did we get off on this?
Yeah. I think you got angry at plugins.
You've been talking about like making cool stuff with Fusion that parody with After Effects. Yeah. I would love it, dude. I'd watch the crap out of that. I would love to consume that. I would skip a morning of scripting to watch the Jesus out of that video because I'm, like you said, and I think through shorts and vertical content, I will keep chipping away at that. But man, it just feels like there's just this huge ravine that is just like, how manual do you want to animate, and how do you get to over here and what's possible in Fusion? And I'm not, I just want to see a super clear path. But
fair. Super fair. Well, I'm stoked for your shorts journey, man. Like, because you just said, it's like YouTube is such a black hole in that regard of just like 6 months from now, the first short that you make could just blow up. You know?
Yeah, very true.
Like,
which happens.
I think that's such a good, like, it's so easy to be like, am I insane? For like the last video that I just made when I was editing it, and I'm like, am I fucking insane? Like,
which one?
I was
the
like,
transition one?
The transition one. Like the amount of time I put into Fusion, the amount of like, I would like do my freelancing day job, and then I would just like literally not leave the computer, and like it would just be midnight, and then I got to editing the video, and I'm like, I've been at this for a month, and I've worked like consecutively like 12 to 14 hour days. Like, what am I doing? And then I posted and I'm just like, cool, got a couple of views.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It was so good though. I loved it, right? Like
yeah, but I think in the back of my head, I'm just like, okay, like I have to look at the bigger picture and like focus solely on that and just be like, it was worth it. And who knows what happens a year from now. Like, that's the benefit. That's the glory of YouTube, to be like, I can be super ADHD and hyper focus on something and not be a negative thing. Just be like, you know what? That's fine. I spent a month on something. That's fine. It's fine. I'll never get that month back, but it's fine.
Yeah. Well, you won't. But also, I don't know. Like, again, there's so many things you learned there. There's so many things that you maybe don't even like, haven't even fully processed that could be learned. Like that's another thing too, like that I've really shifted my brain on recently. Actually, yeah, you and I were talking about that, like, cause I do like manager stuff for like my day job. And like for the longest time I was just like, wow, what a waste of skills. Like none of this transfers over to like any of the creative stuff. But lately I'm like, no, dude, like there's so many skills that I'm like this skill set is so valuable no matter where I go. Just like your graphics skill set is so valuable no matter what you're using. Like, yeah, I think we often beat ourselves up on like going down those rat holes and just like getting ourselves sucked away to life. But like there's so much value in hitting something like really hard, and it's not always obvious because you're right. Like you post it, it's like, whoa, that video didn't do great. Darn it.
Yeah. But you like confuse that of that's like, that was why you did it. You're like, actually, I didn't do it for that purpose. I did it to like, to get the outcome that I did. Like I wanted to do the work because I wanted to do the work. And like, now I'm sharing it.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Figuring it out. What's the actual end goal? What's been coming up for you though? I want to know that. Like, is there anything specific that, like, when you were thinking about that, to be like, no, actually, like, these things are useful?
I think the biggest thing, in fact, I've been trying to, like, think about if there's a video idea here. This is a good brainstorming sesh, is just, like, having to manage people and like set expectations and learn that whole skill set, which like that's not something I was good at. That's something I've like learned through a lot of trial and error, and like,
yeah,
you know, there's been some bumps for sure. And like, I've just found, because I was telling you about this, and this is kind of, I think what you're hinting at is like in the creative space, working for creative people, like no one has this skill. No one does. Yeah. No one sets expectations well. No one knows how to like draft up deadlines. And even like the creative manager people I've worked with, I still honestly am not sure that they're that much better at it, because I think they typically grassroots grew up in the creative industry. I don't know. I'm sure there's edge cases. Like, sorry, there's probably some people out there that are like, I'm really good at that, Jake. Shut up.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Yeah. I'm sure they exist. I haven't run into them, and most of the creative people I've worked with are really bad at that.
I agree.
And it's kind of making my head spin, because it's like, is there something there I could do, whether it's make videos about it or like talk about it or like teach people, where it's just like, you could save your editors a mountain of pain and heartache and headache, and same with you, if you just like learned a few setting expectations mantras, and you know, like I don't even know the words for them, but it's just crazy. Like some of those skills I think are very much lacking in the creative industry, at least.
Totally.
But I don't know. I don't know what is there, and I don't know what I would make there, but it's...
Leave it all behind and check it out at the Moment Residency. Just go on that endeavor. Make that your endeavor.
Make that my... I still have not watched like that prompt video, but yeah, and that's what you're knee deep in right now, right? Like how is that going?
The prompt is literally just like why you want to join Moment. Pretty much. And like, I think it's pretty unclear, but like, it seems like the prerequisite is to like be a YouTuber already. Like, they kind of go back and forth of like, be a creator, but also have the wording gets a little tricky to be like, start a YouTube channel, but already have a YouTube channel. Like, I'm like, which one is it, guys? Like,
yeah, which one? I've started a few. Know. Which one do you want me to post it from?
yeah, for real. I even thought about like, I'm like, this video will be fun. And I'm like, it would be cool to make it like public, but I feel like that's not cool.
Why? Oh, do they say that they want it private, or do they not care?
Yeah, like send an unlisted link type of thing. Because it's like, to them, like, it's like, literally, it's just like, make us a video about why you want to join. And I'm like, I could shoot this from my webcam.
Right. You should make it. Well, no, you totally should make it public, because that feels, that's kind of interesting. Huh.
Yeah, it's a weird, I think like maybe my idea is like, if I don't get it, and if it's like, if it came out as a fun video, I'll be like, I'll try to like add a little like top or tail to it and be like, I tried to work from home and here's what I sent them or something.
Yeah, for sure. No, absolutely. What, because I think I had like sort of pitched you what I thought you should do. Like, is that kind of where you're landing or is it totally different?
What did you pitch me?
I like pitched the, like coming out of the giant shadow kind of vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
The giant Matthew Bella shadow.
Yeah, the like, not in like a bad way, just like a, hey, you know, like I've been this kind of person creatively for a long time and now I want to, I don't know, do my thing with you guys or whatever. I don't know. Which again, maybe that doesn't actually make that much sense for what, I don't know, what are they hiring for? Just like working there?
Yeah, they're pretty much just giving like a creator a chance to like multiple creators a chance to like be on their channel, like be a creator on their channel.
Okay. Like Caleb or whoever.
Yes.
Like just one of those people.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, exactly. But also while work on your channel.
Which is so cool.
Yeah. And I'm like, I would love to just not do my day job.
Yeah, absolutely. So is that what's your angle then? I don't know. And again, if you don't want to talk about it, that's cool too. But
I kind of like took an angle of like, I sent you that like POV box shot.
Yes, love that shot.
So I kind of like took it as like a unboxing type of thing, like, but like I'm unboxing myself type of.
Oh,
to be
nice. I like that.
Here's who I am. Here's like why I want to work for you, and like less of like here's who I am, and more of like just like I didn't want it to be like I've done this and I've done this and whatever, but just be like I can do these things, like rather show, like more show and don't tell kind of thing, to be like, how can I work a graphic into this thing instead of being like I can do motion graphics, like
right.
So
no, which is super smart. That's a great idea.
Yeah, so I'm still in the midst of it, but I filmed a bunch of like A-roll to be like, like little snippets of just like, I think this is a cool opportunity. I really love what you guys do. Like trying to come up with some unique shots of like whatever. Like that, basically that POV shot is like, I bring the box in, it cuts to like a over the shoulder, but there's a mirror in the box. And like, that's my talking head A-roll, is like the mirror in the box type of thing.
Okay.
But yeah, little things like that.
Yeah.
And like we were talking about that earlier of like how it makes such a big difference if you like script out your thing to be like, okay, at this, like I say this idea and then I turn and then the camera's over here. Like that was kind of in my thinking as well. I didn't achieve it.
But I was thinking about it.
But I thought about it.
And I wrote it down. Yeah.
But yeah, I like that.
I think that's important. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that you're like thinking about that though and like actually implementing that into your workflow right now.
Tried to. Yeah. Dude, total not side tangent, but like, I mean, just if they were doing a straight up casting call for like X person to fit in with like the moment crew, like you look the part. like I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like you absolutely look like you could just slide right in and crush it, right?
Man, that's the goal.
That's the goal. Man. I'm not saying that like in a derogatory way. Like I mean that totally complimentary of like that. You look perfect, which is, I don't know, that's a factor, right? Like everything counts.
Yeah, that's true. We're still a little Canadian. Yeah, like give the little Canadian boy some shine, you know?
Yeah. No, I'm excited to see what you cook up there, because when you said you were doing it, I was just like, yes, dude, that's perfect. I think that's perfect for you. I cannot wait to see what you do with that.
Yeah. Like definitely we've talked about this many times, but like just the overarching, like, oh, I'm in this niche and I can't get out.
Yes.
Like it just feels one of the like get out of jail free cards. And I'm just like, holy shit, I have to give this everything.
Yeah, you got to give it a try. Yeah, for sure. I think that's cool. I think that's super cool. I'm excited to see
Is
what
there
happens.
like there's no world where you give up your job and send an application in?
Probably not right now. No.
Yeah, you're I have a wife and kids to support.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember what they were paying, but I think right now in my current phase of life, it would be not the smartest choice to make.
No, dude, it's $50K and like a mentorship program.
Okay. Which is really cool. Like, that's really awesome.
Yeah,
I just don't know logistically if I could swing that.
No, like, yeah. From going from like a full-time salary to like essentially like a part-time salary.
Yeah.
Is what it
and
would
no
feel
benefits. Like. Yeah. No, and that was the thing. Like, I'm like super rooting for you, and I think it's like perfect again. And I was like, this is one of the few things that I will be on the sideline cheering for you, and I will not participate in. But
all right, well, send them a good email or something. Text Caleb.
Hey, do you want to come on the show that I haven't done in weeks? Because I instead
they would be fun guests. Like if you were able to interview a couple of them.
For sure, I would love to do that. Yeah,
how are the Sticks guys?
The show has been getting totally. Holy crap! That thing's been backburnered.
As we'll wrap it up, but tell me a little bit about the Sticks thing. Like, how was it? Like, how was meeting them? Are they cool? Like,
oh, they're so cool. Dude is insane. Like, I still can't believe they came on. And similar to your, like, other video, like, it was one of those moments where it's just like, I don't know how I cannot swing for the fence on this, like, fucking opportunity, because, like, it just felt like it would be so dirty to just post a normal episode with them, which I think I might still do for reasons I'm about to explain. Okay, but I was just like, well, how do I do that? Like, how do I have like this super cool conversation with all this awesome information that I've been dying to know about myself and just post a podcast episode? I was like, I really want to try and like go all out. And I spent so much time and effort trying to find my favorite bits and restructuring it and scripting and shooting and graphics.
Showed, man. That showed.
Tried all the graphics, you know? And yeah, dude, it didn't do shit. It didn't do anything. And so like, I'll probably recut when I'm, you know, like when I decide to, I'll probably cut up the episode as the podcast and repost that as well. But
yeah, you could do raw conversation with Sticks. Like, yeah, for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, like, yeah, definitely go watch on Jake's channel. I'll link it in the show notes. But it's super good episode of just like breakdown, chat with Sticks, and like just the inside scoop of their minds. And it's just like, I think what you did was kind of like interject yourself to like set them up better. Like,
yeah,
for
I tried
me,
to
that
kind
was
of almost,
the like game
explainer.
changing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Kind of what they do almost. Like it kind of felt like one of their episodes about them.
A little bit, which was kind of
storytelling. Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. But it got me hooked on
the first two songs I used are songs that they use in their videos. Like there's some on the nose shit in there.
Nice. Nice. Like, did they share the episode at all?
I don't think so. No. So I don't know if they loved. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they said they like responded with a comment. They were like, "Oh, dude, this turned out great" or whatever, which was nice. But yeah, like they didn't share it and didn't say anything beyond that.
That's fine, honestly.
I think I could talk. Can I talk about this? I think I could talk about this. It turned into a audition for them as an editor, which was really cool. And I didn't make the final cut from that. but that was kind of a cool opportunity too, just like getting to like basically see if I could be one of their editors.
What did you have to do?
Just cut one of their episodes. It was a piece or a part of the one that just came out, which is why I think I can talk about it because NDA's up. But
so like, what did you like? Was it like a 1 minute thing? Like what? How long?
Yeah, it was like 1 minute trailer, maybe somewhere in that. I can't remember exactly how long it panned out to be, but yeah, horizontal 1 or 2 minute trailer for the Smosh video.
For the movie or for the video, which would be like the movie plus the BTS plus like their storytelling?
Trailer for the BTS. Yeah,
Okay.
there's like 3 layers of meta on this part. Yeah, which I can't remember exactly what they released. I need to go check, but I think they released all 3. I could be wrong.
Gotcha.
Or how they did it, but
no, it's
yeah,
just like
I mean,
hard to say. Like, is it
Oh,
is
yeah.
it a trailer for the trailer, like a trailer for the movie that they
No.
like? It's just because like they make 2 videos about the same thing, so it's like
yeah, is a trailer for the BTS or the doc, I guess is what they call it.
that the doc is way more.
Yeah.
But yeah, very cool like system they got going over there.
Yeah,
Honestly.
they're awesome. I mean, they're some of my favorites right now. That's why, again, it was just like, I cannot believe that this like is even like, this just feels fake. So of course I have to like try my hardest I've ever tried.
Yeah.
And
It's also about you, you know?
yeah.
Like
you
that
know,
one was for you. I think like SEO could play a big part of that. Like changing the title. I think if it's not performing, like change the title and see, because like they have a big name.
totally.
Yeah. Or they
Yeah.
will have a big name. And it's one of those things that's like, yeah, maybe in a year people will be like, what? Like
Right.
unreleased footage.
Yeah.
Like I want to see a raw conversation that was filmed like before they blew up. That's crazy.
Totally. No, and that's why I probably will do another just episode cut and post it because and there's a few of those that I have also yet to touch as well that I feel bad about.
Episodes? Are you
Yeah.
sitting on episodes right now?
Yeah, at least 2 or 3.
Damn, brother.
I haven't filmed it's been a pretty big gap since I filmed them, but there was a few there that were like really back to back. And I need to do those, which those are so easy to edit, but again, time consuming and like, I'm just needing I'm like a drug addict. I just need some hits of dopamine on a consistent daily basis right now, like creatively.
That's hilarious.
Which is so dumb because again, it's like, it just feels like, it just sounds so toxic because if I chip away at a long form video, that should release the same thing, right? Why is that different? I think completing something feels really good.
Totally.
Right?
You get to walk away with something like, you know that in the time that you sit down, by the time that you go to bed, you can review it on your phone.
Yeah. Like it's got a bow on it and it's airdropped to my phone. Yeah, that's true. That is really attractive.
The long form, you're just like, okay, I did 2 minutes.
Yeah. Cool. I'll watch those 2 minutes 1,000 times before I get done with the 6th minute. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one.
It is tricky. I don't know. But the moment one is long form. Is that, what else are you cooking on your stuff? Are you long forming? What's going on?
Am I long forming?
Are you making another transition? What's the deal?
I honestly haven't really. This is why I need to start writing a bit more. The glow thing I'm probably going to work on after the moment thing, but the moment thing is due November 15th. So I've got to hustle on that right now. And
yes,
working on some freelance stuff to make money and stay alive. So
yeah, it's important.
That's like taking a lot of my attention as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully, like I don't want to get into a mode where every single video I put out, it's just like, hey, buy this thing that I made. Cause that's like,
right.
I don't know. I feel it's like, yes, I would love that because I want to make money and make cool stuff at the same time. But I also just like want to help people, you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got to like blend the two together. So I'm going to see, I think like for the glow thing, I'm going to like, it'll basically be like a tutorial. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll just be like, if you don't want to do all this, I've made a thing that you can just buy.
Right. And just throw on, which is a great way to do it because people
Yeah.
are like, okay, this is why we pay him the money because it saves us the time. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I'll walk them through on how to do it because I've already like started to do it in my videos to be like, it's not hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of what's in the pipeline. Hopefully I'll do that before the end of the year.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Hopefully it's up in the air. Yeah.
But yeah,
It's
and
tough, man. That's
do
the
another
thing.
one of
That's
these
what's so. Yeah, we'll do more of these.
before.
That's what's so weird about this show is we're literally talking about essentially like our hobby. Like we're hobbying about our hobby and we don't have enough time to do the hobby in the first place, right? Like it's kind of hilarious when you think about it because like you said, there's someone needs to produce the monies to eat the foods.
Yeah, we're literally hobbying about it, our hobbies. That's hilarious. Yeah, like for context, it's like 11. It's 11:30 for me. It's what is it for you?
9:30. It's much earlier, but still.
Yeah, like this is like we've had our hobby time, and now we're like hobbying about our hobby time. Like we've already had our 5 to 9.
Yeah,
which is hilarious.
Oh, it's so hilarious, but it's why we do it. We love it, and we're always trying to figure out how to do it. That is a good place to end.
All right.
It's good to see you again. It's way too long.